Hi there guys, look at where I found myself today. I heard Koen had his own little bar and obviously I had to come and give a taste to some of the cocktails that he makes. Obviously I like myself a good old fashioned, but I figured there must be some other things that he can do for me. So I gave Koen a challenge and I wanted him to make 3 completely different old fashions for me. But I haven't seen him here yet, so I'm sure he's still mucking around with some old fashions. Yeah, I guess I'll give him some time with that, and I'm sure I'll be able to taste some of them once I'm all done. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey there guys, and welcome back. As you might have just seen, we have a hijacker of the channel today. He decided to show up unannounced, so I figured I'll bring him into one of these videos. He put us a challenge, and let me show you what kind of cocktails or what kind of old fashions I came up with for you guys. Let's go to cocktail number 1. Okay, so the first old fashioned that we're gonna get started with is pretty much a normal old fashioned, but we just gave it a little twist there. We managed to infuse Rooibos, or a whiskey with Rooibos, which is a tea for everyone that hasn't heard of that name before. It's a herbal tea that ends up doing really well in a whiskey. It just complements a lot of flavors there, and it's pretty easy to make. Like, we infuse this for about 24 hours with some tea, and then the flavor just pulls in there really nicely, and it just brings this whole old fashioned together. So you have to do some work for this one. It's not as a clear cut. With this one you have to do a little bit of infusing, but I'd say it's still pretty interesting. So let's get started with this old fashioned. So it's pretty much similar to the video that I did for the cocktail countdown, the very first one. But that has been a while. I think it's been almost 5 or 6 months by now, so I think it's about time that we do another old-fashioned video anyway. So we're gonna start off with a sugarcane cube, and we'll put some Angostura bitters on that. I'm just using some just kitchen wipes to use instead of a napkin that I obviously have when I'm at the bar. But that will make do as well. It's basically the same thing. And then I will be adding our whiskey. So this is 60 milliliters like normal, or 2 ounces. That just goes in there. And then I have honey syrup, which this one is actually homemade as well. You can buy them in store as well, or you can just have some honey syrup or some honey and then dilute it with boiling water, just to make sure that it actually adds up nicely in the cocktail. And we're going to be adding 15 milliliters of that, or half an ounce. There we go. Add that to a glass. And then it's time to actually crush some of the ice cube that we put in there. Should be nice and easy to crush now if you leave it in there, so it kind of dissolves a little bit already. Makes your life easier with the muddler there. And just give it a little bit of a crunch. And then we're already on to the ice, so we'll add some ice to there. Should be enough. And as I told you guys before, give it a good stir. We obviously want to do this because we're diluting the drink and we are also cooling down the drink. So those are the 2 main reasons why we're doing this. And we don't want it to be super overwhelming, of course. So this always takes a little bit of time. Definitely make sure that you keep tasting in between. See how far you're at. I mean, you're your best own judge, or your own best judge, I must say. You decide, especially if you're making it at home, you get to decide how you like your old fashioned. So you get to decide as well how strong you want it or how sweet you want it. If you want it a little bit sweeter, obviously add some more honey to it. But for now, this should be all good. So pour that in there, and then add some ice to the glass as well. And then as a garnish, we'll be using an orange peel for that one. Cut it out a little bit, makes it look nice, just like we did with the other old fashions. And squirt it out over the drink so we get that nice orange flavor in there as well. And that's it, easy as that. First old fashioned done. I'd say we move on to old fashioned number 2. Welcome back to cocktail number 2, or old fashioned number 2. This one is actually pretty much a classic, but just with the twist in it that it is made with rum. So I figured it was still a good idea, and both me and Jan, we both like our old fashioned, so we figured it might be a good one to add to this one as well, so we can have a little sip afterwards anyway. But first, let me show you how we are gonna make this one. Again, this is pretty similar to the one that we just made. Gonna add an ice cube on top, and then add some Angostura to soak the cube, and make sure we don't overdo it. That's why we do it on the or on the kitchen paper. There you go. And then most of the bitters that we don't really need, they can go into the bin. Then, as I said, we're making a rum old fashioned. I always like to have a rum that does pretty well on its own, and that just gets elevated a little bit by by the ingredients, by the Angostura, and by the sugar. I chose today for Plantation. This is a Gran Anejo. This is this is a really nice rum. I would say you want to have something like a Diplomatico or like a Don Papa that really does well on its own, that you can really use in one of these. Definitely one of the sipping rums. You don't necessarily want to take say like a Bacardi or whatever. That just doesn't really make sense. And I would also obviously make it with a spiced rum, since that just has a little bit more flavor. I mean, there is some nice white rums out there as well, but for an old fashioned, I would definitely go with a spiced rum. So again, we'll add 60 milliliters or 2 ounces, and then with this one, the steps are even easier because I can just start muddling our sugar cube. Just to make sure we get that in our drink in a little bit. And then we rinse and repeat on the last one, so I might actually speed this up for you guys. But I guess I'll decide that in the edit, so you'll figure it out in the video. There we go. Add some ice, and then we start stirring again. Okay, one more quick taste. That is perfect. Okay, then add some ice to our glass, of course. Nope. And then I can grab my julep strainer and add our old fashioned with some extra ice. And then I already pre-prepared some orange peels, so I obviously only need one, but we're gonna add that to a drink as a garnish. And maybe we overdid it a little bit on the ice, but that was obviously an accident. I didn't mean to do that. So yeah, there we go, guys. That is our rum old fashioned. Let's see what I have in store for you guys for the third one. Hey. Okay, so we are back for Old Fashioned number 3. This is going to be slightly more of a different angle. Like obviously the Rum Old Fashioned is a little bit close to the whiskey Old Fashioned. This one is flavor wise is a bit more different. I have a Mezcal Old Fashioned for you guys today. And I managed to get my hands on a bottle of Mezcal San Cosme. This is the only bottle they had at the liquor store, so that's why I bought it. That's the main reason. But me and Jan tasted it already. It does taste nice, so you can take our word on that one for sure. So Mezcal is obviously going to be our main component that's going to be swapped out like normally in a whiskey you would, or the whiskey you would have. And then for my sugar, I'm going to be using an agave syrup, which in general you should be able to get at the supermarket. This one was at one of our main supermarkets here. There were 3 or 4 different kinds of them, so it should be nice and easy to get. And then obviously as a last ingredient, I'm going to be using Angostura. So in essence, basically the same like a normal Old Fashioned, obviously, but just slightly different ingredients. So we'll get started with 60 milliliters of Mezcal. Obviously, since we don't have a sugar cube now, we don't have to soak anything in, so we can just get started straight away with the booze. And excuse me, and then add some agave syrup. I'm gonna just add 10 milliliters of that, or a quarter of an ounce, and then that should already that should be nice and easy already. And then as a final ingredient, obviously we do 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and that is plenty. So no muddling needed as well with this one. So we'll just add our ice cubes and we'll get back to stirring. Okay, since our ice is obviously not the best quality, we don't have to stir as long. This is just a little stir should be enough. If you have a little bit of higher grade ice, then that definitely helps a lot. This is just some quick ice that goes a little bit faster. So add that to our glass. I mean, you can also do like just 1 dash of Angostura, so again it depends on how you like it yourself. Doing 1 dash of Angostura is totally fine. Then it gives you a little bit more of that white hue that you normally get, obviously, from the Mezcal. Now it becomes a little bit more pinkish. But still, the flavor-wise, it's gonna be really nice. And as a garnish, I'm going to be garnishing with a dehydrated lime. Obviously, you can just use a normal lime wheel or whatever as well. And yeah, there you go. That is our third and easy Old Fashioned, the Mezcal Old Fashioned. This bar is not good for my back. I see he put in some work today. That's good. Well, I hope he showed you guys how to do it at least, so that makes this a little bit easier for me, because then I can just do this. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. Ciao. What the hell? Where did my cocktails go? Oh wait, I already know. Uncle Bob was here, wasn't he? Yeah. Well, I guess that leaves me thirsty for today. Well, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video at least. I'm sure Uncle Bob is in a corner somewhere sipping all of his Old Fashions right now. But yeah, as I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to pop in next week as well to see what kind of videos we have lined up for you again. Make sure to subscribe to this video or to this channel, and also like the video. Yeah, we obviously work hard on them, but we enjoy making them for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy watching them. But for now, I guess I'll leave you to it, and I'll see you next Sunday. Ciao.